Hello everyone, it's Mr. Burns in the weather studio. I hope you're having a nice day, and in this video I am going to be doing the JMA and CFS video, what Gav would call JMA Friday, except it's a Sunday, not a Friday. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I am filling in for gavsweathervids as he's off on holiday in New York. I'm doing the exact same thing as I did this time 3 years ago. When Gav was ill with the flu, I'm doing it again. I thought, why not? It's the 3-year anniversary, so yeah, I'm going to do the JMA Friday video that Gav normally does on a Friday, and would have done this Friday. I'm going to do that video today on a Sunday. So stationary traffic, okay. Anyway, we're going to have a look at two models, the JMA and the CFS. As JMA was a bit temperamental to get up, the charts took their time to load, but I've got them up now, so we'll have a look at the JMA and then we will have a look at the CFS. I haven't got any pen software on this computer, so I do have on my laptop, so I'll have to get around to downloading that. So actually, if I load it up in Paint, I might be able to draw on it. Let's see. I might be able to draw on it in Paint. Let's just rotate this for now, as Gav does. So I'm not used to doing this, so I'm trying to figure out which way is the right way. So Gav rotates it so that the UK is facing. I can't even make out the UK, to be honest. They don't make these charts very clear, do they? I'm struggling to make out the UK on this. The CFS charts are so much clearer, but I'll pause the video. Okay, so I've brought up the other view of the JMA charts, not the view of the North Pole, this view of the mid-latitudes, which is a lot clearer. You can clearly see where the UK is on here. Let's just make that a bit bigger. So you can see the UK is there in the top right corner of the chart, much clearer. I much prefer this view. The only thing is with that view, you can't see the North Pole. You can't see what's happening to the north and east of the UK as it's cut off. I much prefer the CFS view, which is much clearer. But anyway, so the coming week has low pressure over and to the west of the UK, high pressure around the Azores, a couple of 100 miles further south than it usually would be. Everything's a few hundred miles further south than it would normally be, thanks to this northern blocking area which you can't see, but it's up there to our north, pumping in those easterly winds, cold easterly winds. So the upshot is we're in for a cold week. Temperature normally, as you can see in those blue colours, are coming out below average. Very warm though for Spain and North Africa, but colder than average for the UK. Unusual for December these days. Precipitation coming out on the drier, slightly drier than average side. Let's go to the second week, and it's not changing. I don't know why. This website is a bit, I don't know, it's not working properly today. It's a complicated website, and it's not working properly. I do not know why. And clicking on that doesn't seem to do anything. Why won't it? It won't change to the second week. Oh, there we go. It's just really slow for some reason. I don't know why. So the second week still has a shallow trough of low pressure over the UK, a shallow high around the Azores, and high pressure in the northern latitudes. Probably upshot is probably still quite cold. Temperatures, if anything, recovering, going close to a maybe even slightly milder than average, in those sort of pale green colours there. And rain forecast, if anything, going slightly on the wetter than average side, if anything, ever so slightly. And now let's go to the third and fourth week and wait about 5 million years for the charts to load. There we go. So this time we still have the high pressure to our north, although it is weakening a little bit. So instead of those red and orange colours like it was before with the intense northern blocking, instead it's in the yellow colours, pale green colours to the south. Generally high pressure dominated, probably still pulling in some easterly winds overall. Temperatures slightly milder than average, around 0 to 1 degree above the long-term average, and precipitation on the slightly drier than average side, going back to slightly drier than average rainfall. If you have a look at the 28 days mean, Gav doesn't normally show you this, but that it just shows you what it's like overall. You can see the northern blocking signal there, weaker pressure there, pulling in those cold easterly winds. Temperatures overall actually going slightly milder than average overall, which is a bit of a... Oh no, it's changed. So actually no, probably just close to average, really. And rainfall on the slightly drier than average side. These long-range models do tend to favour above average temperatures at the best of times though, so I'd take that with a bit of a pinch of salt, to be honest. So I want to go... It's monthly. Now that that's out of the way, let's go to the CFS V2, and this is the week 1 temperature anomaly. Let's just zoom in a little bit here. So this is taking us from the 11th to the 17th of December, and are these height anomalies or precipitation anomalies? That's precipitation, that's temperature. So what about the height anomalies? Oh yeah, we want to go here. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this. Right. So let's rotate this so we can see we're on the right way up. So week 1 takes us from the 11th to the 17th of December, and let's see if we can open this up in Paint so I can draw on it. There we go. Now I can draw on it. So I don't want to zoom in that much. There we go. So I want to go there, brush. Yeah, week 1 taking us from the 11th to the 17th of December. I need to work on my drawing skills. It's difficult to draw with a mouse. So you've got strong northern blocking around Greenland and Iceland, about as strong as it gets in those grey colours, which is very unusual to see these days. Everything a few hundred miles further south, I was saying in another video, so usually you get low pressure around up here around Iceland, you get high pressure around Spain and the Azores, and you pull in a westerly wind. That would be the typical setup. But instead, because everything's that blocking is pushing everything a few hundred miles further southwards. So instead of that, we have the low pressure is coming through the UK like that. That blocking is pumping cold air into that trough. So the upshot is that we are cold and more unsettled than we have been as well. It won't probably still be drier than average because cold air holds less moisture than mild air. So you can see high pressure well to our south, but yeah, probably still be colder than average despite being dominated by low pressure. But the main thing is just colder than average with some snow at times as well. So we'll go through to week 2, which will take us from the 18th to the 24th of December. The coming week turning a little bit milder, if anything. Still got the blocking signal up there, but we've got low pressure out in the middle of the Atlantic, high pressure over Spain and the Azores, trying to revert back to a more typical pattern, bringing in those westerly winds. So that's probably fixed in between, probably starting off cold, bringing in north or northeasterly winds, but over time the Atlantic probably trying to win the battle. So let's go to weeks 3 and 4, and we will again rotate it, and we will copy, open it up in Paint. There we go. Zoom in, select the brush. Let's go for yellow this time. That might be a bit hard to see, but we'll see. So week 3 taking us from the 25th to the 31st of December. This week has high pressure over the UK, so probably quite a mild ridge as well, with winds probably coming in from a southwesterly direction, especially from the northern and western parts of the UK. Could be a lot of frost and fog with that though, if we get clear nights. And week 4, that will be turning a lot drier, even drier as well. And week 4 takes us into the new year, taking us from the 1st of January to the 7th of January 2023. Can you believe it? This week we sort of lose the blocking with low pressure around there. Still got some high pressure around here though, around Svalbard, or Svalbard as Gav would say. High pressure and pushed into the middle of the Atlantic. Even got a tiny bit of low pressure around the Azores there. It's a sort of, and we're in the UK, we're sort of fixed in between. So maybe pulling in, it's difficult to say. I'll just leave a question mark with that one. We'll see what the temperature precipitation anomaly says. So let's go back to this one, and we'll go from, so this is the temperature forecast. So week 1 takes us from the 11th to the 17th of December, and I don't think I can draw on this right, it doesn't matter. 11th of December to 17th of December week. The UK is in the top right hand chart, the top right hand side of the chart, by the way. The UK is coming out significantly colder than average, probably around 3 to 4 degrees below average. So that's really unusual to see the CFS going that cold with the temperature anomaly, especially in December. We've not seen this for a very long time, and this is probably going to be the coldest it's been in December since 2010. Coming out warmer than average for Spain and North Africa, by the way. Week 2 takes us from the 18th to the 24th of December, so the week leading up to Christmas. Bit of a change is then actually going slightly milder than average, if anything, in that week, or close to average. So a recovery in the temperature. Week 3 goes milder than average, around 0.5 to 1 degree above average, as we begin to bring in high pressure low. On the surface it could still be quite cold, because I think we're under high pressure for that week. Week 4 takes us into the new year, from the 1st to the 7th of January. Temperatures going close to or possibly slightly milder than average as we revert. It's not clear what's going on in that week, so model just going for close to average temperatures, I think. Precipitation anomaly taking us from the 11th to the 17th of November for week 1. Significantly drier than average, as you would expect in this pattern. So despite the low pressure, it's still drier than average, because cold air holds a lot less moisture than mild air. Week 2 takes us from the 18th up to the 24th of December, and we go closer to average with precipitation for that week. Week 3 takes us from the 25th to the 31st of December, going again close to or slightly drier than average. I think that would still be a drier than average week, given that we have high pressure dominating in that week. And finally, week 4 taking us into the new year, going average to possibly slightly wetter than average for Ireland and the west of Scotland there, but it's 4 weeks away, so it's a long way off and it's unreliable. So there we go then, that's the CFS and the JMA. I'll just show you the monthly forecast. So this is the monthly forecast. This is for January 2023, and it's still going for a high pressure dominated January. You can see we've lost the blocking. We've now gone for low pressure though around Greenland and Iceland, so that will probably be quite a mild ridge if anything, because there's no blocking to put cold to pump cold air into that trough. Nevertheless though, clear skies at this time of year, and it will still be cold, especially at night. Probably average temperatures by day with plenty of sunshine, so probably quite pleasant weather, to be honest. Temperature anomalies are going slightly milder than average, around 0.5 to 1 degree above average, so probably quite a mild ridge, and precipitation going close to average, but with high pressure in control, you would expect a significantly drier than average month. So there we go then, there's the CFS and JMA models. So both models are forecasting a recovery in temperature as we go up towards Christmas. So let's just refresh ourselves what the CFS is doing, the JMA is doing, sorry. So yeah, both going for recovery in the temperature, going close to or slightly milder than average in the week, for Christmas week and leading into the new year. Nothing Atlantic driven though, still mainly high pressure dominated I think, but just turning a little bit less cold, and with temperatures going close to average and more of a typical high pressure I think, rather than the really cold high pressure that we've got at the moment, or cold low pressure actually. Just going for a typical sort of high pressure, probably a lot of anticyclonic gloom, although when the sun is out, it could be pleasant by day, but really cold by night. So there we go, there's the CFS and JMA. Gav will be back with a CFS and JMA video for JMA Friday on Friday when he gets back from New York, if all goes to plan. So that's my sort of JMA Sunday video. So yeah. So that's today's video. I am planning to do more videos, so I might do a Sunday roundup video like I did 3 years ago. Gav wouldn't normally do a Sunday roundup video in December, but I might just do one looking at oceans and ENSO and AO and NEO and that sort of thing. I might do that, we'll see. It's quite a long video to do, but I might do that. I might do a Christmas update video as well, because Gav's had to pause the Christmas updates while he's been away, and I'll probably do a week ahead forecast video at some point for you guys as well. Alright then, check the video out on the screen, that's recommended if you wish, but for this video that's all for now, and thanks for watching.